Hello everyone. Welcome to intensive reading for the 2024 to 2025 school year. My name is Mr. Hudgins. This is my second year at St. John's Technical High School. I previously taught at Sebastian Middle School as an art teacher, and then I got my reading certification last year. I'm very excited for this year. I know for a fact that we're going to have some huge gains in reading comprehension, and I'm hoping that all of my students will never have to take intensive reading ever again. Below you will see my email address and also the school phone number to reach me in my classroom. Here's an overview of the course and a course description. This class is to help students reach grade level proficiency in reading, and to do that, we're going to focus on a couple different factors of reading, and which will be fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. And we'll also sort of provide a framework for all those by writing. Below you will also see the state standards, the Florida State Standard, that will be primarily focusing on. There's a number of them, so I didn't put all of them on here. But one of the most important things that I want to work on is fluency. So having students have a very nice flow to their reading and also a good pace. Depending on what class your student is in, depends on the sort of materials that we will be covering in that class. For example, my 8th grade fluency class is my 7th period, and for that we will be doing two different types of material. We are going to be focusing on the Just Words materials, which is a specific program, and then also fluency units, which will be focusing on specific passages that they are covering in ELA and doing drills or activities that will sort of help them to become a more fluent reader and also helping them gain comprehension for what they are actually reading in their ELA classes, if that makes sense. Here's sort of an overview of the classwork expectations for each strand, like I just said. Fluency, my fluency strands are grade 11, period 1 and 4. Language comprehension strand is period 2, 5, and 6. And then, like I said in the previous slide, my fluency strand for 7th period, 8th grade is a little bit different because we're using Just Words in there, which is it's a program where we do a ton of different types of activities. And so that class is structured differently than my 11th grade fluency strands. For 11th grade fluency classes, which are my period 1 and 4, we're going to be looking at passages they are covering in ELA. So we started the year looking at the passage The Crucible, which is about the Salem witch trials. And what we do is we read these passages multiple times, and it helps students to maybe pick up on something they might have kind of skipped over really quickly. So we're putting intensive work on specific passages to work on fluency. We're doing something called cold reads and warm reads. The only difference between the cold read is that they've never seen it before, they've never read it before. And then we're tracking how many words per minute they are achieving in reading it each subsequent time. In a fluency unit also, we have a number of different activities we do to build fluency and to gain reading comprehension skills. The other area of the fluency strand, and which I feel like is really going well, is the rewards course. Rewards is an intensive course, and what it does is it teaches students a flexible strategy for decoding grade level multisyllabic words. So if you look at the picture on the left hand side, that's sort of an example of what we do in their workbooks. So they have each student has a workbook that I check, and there's little activities in there where they are segmenting words and underlining vowels, vowel teams, and digraphs. Digraphs are two letters together that make one sound. So we're really examining words and breaking down words so that students can fully understand and decode words successfully. For my periods 2, 5, and 6, we are doing Read 180. Read 180 is a comprehensive program which focuses on language comprehension. We started off the year doing the Getting Started workbook, which showcased 2 different students who struggled with reading early in their college or in their high school years, but they overcame obstacles to pursue the careers and goals that they had in their lives. So we talk a lot about mindset in this course, and we just started getting into our actual workbook. And as you see on the right there, we focus a lot on vocabulary, matching vocabulary that they see in the passage, and it's just slowly going to build. And this program, eventually we're going to do small groups where they are working independently on their computers, and it's going to be a very interactive experience for them, which I know will help them sort of engage with the text a little bit more. And that's what I'm really focusing on. I'm focusing on making the reading very real world, very relatable. My Just Words 7th period class is a fluency-based class, so we will eventually be doing the fluency units like we are for my 11th graders, which focus on their ELA passages. But for the beginning of the year, we've been doing a program called Just Words. And Just Words is a very interactive program as well. And the students have multiple workbooks that they work out of, depending on what we're going over that day. And for this, we are really focusing on word structure. And at the beginning of the year, we've been learning digraphs. Digraphs are 2 letters together that make 1 sound. So that is helping students to understand their spellings of their words and also to decode words at a quicker rate. So I think that's how that ties in with the whole fluency strand, is we're helping these students to be able to decode more quickly, and that will help, boost their words per minute. The Just Words, we're in Unit 5 right now. So we did Unit 1, and then we're doing Unit 5, but we'll be finishing that next week. As far as my classroom procedures are concerned, I sort of have a benchmark for my procedures based on our school rules. The students have to put their phones in the pocket, which hangs on my door. That's just a school norm. We're not allowing the phones to be on the students. They're in the pocket so we can see them. Then they get their computer and materials. We usually have a sort of a warm-up activity, for example, a 5-minute reading or so. And then after that, they sit down and await instructions and prepare for what the activities for the class time entail. I always encourage students, if they miss a day, which we have a lot of absences at this school, if they miss a day, then I have the weekly agenda on Schoology, which is on the next slide. Here's the weekly agenda, which is on Schoology. I put everything we do on that specific date. And if students miss, all that I ask is that they check in with me the next time they come into class, and then I'll give them all the materials that if it was a paper or anything like that, I have a specific folder that I keep all the copies in. I wanted to put this St. John's Technical High School flowchart for behavior in here. This is sort of the model that I go off of in my classroom to manage behaviors. So level 1, like it says in there, defiance, dishonesty, things like that. I have to handle that myself, which I usually will have a talk to the students to try to get them back on track. If it goes to sort of like a higher level, like a intervention 2, or even up to a 3 there, then that's where I record an issue in TAC. And then after that, and at that same point is when I will contact the parent. And then after that is when it usually goes to a higher level to the dean. As far as my actual class rules, I'm really big on respect and being professional and being responsible. I'm trying to instill a work ethic in the students to, really take this seriously, because I really want them to be able to do whatever they want to do in the future. I want them to, try to complete whatever goals that they want to do, and I know how important reading is for that. So all of these, these rules that I have on this page here, I feel like they're going to need those later in life as well. So, especially being able to follow directions and things like that. So these are my own personal classroom rules. And finally, this is the sort of the structure for grading of the semester. We've had a lot of formatives so far. As the first 9 weeks kind of comes to a close, we're going to have, some more summatives and things like that. In intensive reading, I don't want to punish the students. I want them to grow. I want them to become better readers. So these formatives and summatives and things like that are basically to show me how much growth they're having, and how hard they're working, and how seriously they're taking this course. So their grade is going to reflect that. If they're not putting in the effort, if they're not showing growth, then they will definitely be, we'll look at their formatives and summatives and see where we need to adjust instruction to make sure that they're having some really good growth for the end of the year testing. And in closing, I just want to say thank you for your support. I know for a fact this is going to be a great school year. It's already started off very well, and the students are doing well. So I'm very thankful for all the support, and this is a great school, and I'm very excited to get to know all the students.